What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Stella herself motherfucking podcast. As always, don't forget to share this on your IG story. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on anything that we discussed today. Today, I have a cold brew from Starbucks. I had one of these the other day when I was hungover. And bitch, it hit so bomb. Like, I hadn't had one in such a long time. Just because I had been, like, making cold brew at home. I was only really getting cold brew at like Dunkin' because I would get like the blueberry flavor and that's kind of unique, you know? But if I would go to Starbucks, I was getting like espresso type drinks, which I don't have a IRL espresso machine. So yeah, but anyway, Starbucks cold brew, I think it's just because it was like the first cold brew I ever had, but it's just always going to be my favorite. Like it just is so good to me. Anyway, I'm recording this podcast a few days in advance from when I normally do because, bitch, I have, like, plans this weekend. Should I sit on my ass for this? Dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like, it feels weird. And I did a few leg days now. I did one this morning, too, actually. And it's, like, just that feeling of not... Okay, it's actually so nice to sit. That feeling of not having worked out in so long and, like... You just feel every single muscle in your leg. Like, I'm the kind of sore that it hurts to, like, sit on the toilet. And I swear to God, this pain is worse than a BBL pain was ever. It's just, like, so, like, my whole legs and, like, everything. Yeah, so low-key, I'm glad I'm recording today because I have a couple of, like, things I want to share and discuss. So, first of all, I wanted to talk about my first time going out with a BBL, because I didn't really, you know, when I filmed my 6-week BBL update and whatnot, I still hadn't like gone out to like a restaurant, a bar, a club, anything. And part of like a lot of like questions that I got were like, oh, are you getting treated differently, or like how did the bros react, or like was anything different as far as that goes, which is like funny, but it's also pretty valid, you know. It's like, how are people going to perceive me? So on my official 6-week day, it was a Tuesday, and I went to lunch with my friend, and then we just hung out for like a few hours. And then I went to this, I don't even know what you would call it. It's just like an event, I guess. Like, it's not a party because it's at like a bar, but whatever. It's not really a club, but it's kind of a club because there's like tables, but it's kind of like a lounge vibe. So I went to that, and it's like half outdoors. Like, it's open, so, you know, it's cute. Anyway, so y'all saw my vlog. I was wearing my little dress and whatnot. As soon as I fucking went downstairs to wait for my Uber, this Postmate DoorDash guy was like, I had my sunglasses on and my hair was down and I was wearing a mask. So you can't really, like, see my face. I could have headphones in for all he knew. He was kind of standing, like, to the side just waiting for, like, someone to buzz him in. So I'm just like on my phone, like waiting for my Uber. I can kind of tell this guy's looking at me, but I'm just like, okay, let me ignore him because he was just like being kind of gross. Like, you know, we can just feel the vibe. So he was like, oh my God, that dress looks amazing on you. But said it like, you know, when guys catcall you or like they think they're complimenting you, whatever, but they say it like just quiet enough. It's like you're not actually wanting to like it's like, I prefer it because I'd rather that than like you get up on my face. But it's just like this specific vibe that random men on the street have, and it's just like, it's like they just want to say it for themselves, you know. It's just weird. So I didn't even realize what he said at first. He was like, wow, that dress fits you amazing, but like so quiet. And again, he's standing like kind of far from me, so I was like, is he talking to me? And I was like, oh, that's what he said. And in my head I'm just like, period, but I wasn't gonna acknowledge him because like it was just weird. So then he gets buzzed in, and he's like walking farther away. He's like, yeah, well, you're going to be old in 20 years anyway. So like, oh, okay. Like, that's not really news to me. Like, I know. It was just weird. So there was that. And then I was like, fuck, I hope I don't get harassed on this Uber or anything. Like, I don't know. Also, just in general, I wear like baggy clothes all the time. So even like before a BBL, if I was wearing, you know, like a really tight dress or just like, I don't know, regular, not even like quote unquote slutty clothes, but just like more feminine clothes, I just always feel so self-conscious when I'm in public just because of like fucking creepy randoms. Like, bitch, I love being a poppin' ass bitch, you know? Like, I will bust my ass out on IG all day. So it's not so much like, oh, I'm insecure about my body. Again, even like before BBL, but it's just like, y'all are making me so uncomfortable everywhere that I go that like, I would rather dress like a boy all the time. You know? I'd rather dress like Adam Sandler all the time, dead ass. But luckily my Uber did not harass me. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I feel like I definitely got a few, I'm just gonna like really tell you how it was as like a first experience. I definitely got like a couple guys because I met my friend at his place and then we just like had to walk literally like a couple blocks to this restaurant. So I definitely got a few, you know, little like comments, but nothing like crazy. And then when I went out, a few people that I like am acquainted with were kind of like, wow, like you look poppin', like look at you. And like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just like, damn, I feel like my ass got so much smaller, like fuck, like I miss how it looked like the second week, you know? But it's like, okay, these people haven't seen me in like months, so obviously it's like a difference. So that was kind of just like, I was like, okay. But yeah, like, I don't know, nothing was like too crazy or anything. Once I was like actually at this little lounge, like all the bros were like very respectful. I was definitely, you know, being cute, but like nothing was crazy. And I feel like just because it looks so natural, like it's not like, oh my God, your ass is huge. Like, it's just like, you look good, you know? And that's like definitely the vibe I wanted, but I'm just kind of like, damn, I really miss when it was like crazy, just because that's like so fun. Like, it's like dramatic. But yeah, obviously I'd rather have it look fucking normal and natural than like obnoxious and like a diaper and like saggy and just like unproportionate. But yeah, so I don't know, it was fine. And I think it's also interesting because like sometimes I'll look in the mirror and be like, damn, do I literally just look the same? I don't know. But then when I was editing my vlog and I'm like, you know, trying on my clothes and like showing the vlog my outfit and whatnot, I'm like, okay, bitch, I literally look so much different than like I did before. And it's like I have to see myself from almost like this external perspective of like watching myself on a vlog and not just looking in the mirror. You know, so it's just weird. I don't know. And I don't know if I know other girls do experience this because obviously I've like looked it up and like when I was researching and stuff, it's just like, you know, when that first swelling goes away, it's like, oh my God, like is my ass going away? But it's just like the swelling. And I did say this in my Q&A update, 6-week update, but my ass is still firm. So I think that was the thing too. I don't know. Like I just kind of have to wait for it to get like soft and then it's supposed to like, for some people it gets bigger. Hopefully it does for me. Also I'm trying to like, you know, eat a lot. I'm working out again and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know, just like a life update. But it's weird, like I didn't necessarily expect this, like it's almost like an anxiety of like, are my results staying? Like, oh my God, do I look the same as I did before? Like, oh my God. And I think it's because it is like actual fat and it's not like an implant or, because I know like with your boobs too, if you get your boobs done, it's like there is that like swelling and they have to kind of drop and whatnot, but usually they look a lot better after they drop. And it's not necessarily like the size is going to go down as much as like, you know, if you got a fat transfer. So it's just kind of interesting. But I know like, it's like, okay, bitch, like just because you feel that way doesn't mean like, I don't know, you know? And there's this girl I was watching on TikTok who like, her whole channel is like dedicated to her BBL. Like so many videos about it. So I just remember really watching her. And she posted like at her 6 weeks, like, yeah, I've been sitting for like a few days now and I just keep checking to see if my ass is like getting flatter, whatever. So I know it's like very normal. I don't know. I just like, yeah, sometimes I hesitate talking about this because I'm like, it's not like I want to, you know, be so like image focused or whatever, but then I'm like, you know, this is like interesting to some people and I want to like keep it real because if I didn't talk about it, then it would be like it would be kind of giving the impression that it's just like this easy thing, or like, yeah, I'm just like popping now, but it's like, no, like, yeah, obviously sometimes I'm like, damn, like this looks so good. But then other times it's like, wait, and it's just like this weird anxiety. So just so y'all know the fucking real tea. Yeah. Also being back in the gym has been good. I definitely eased my way back into it, but I don't really feel like I would be comfortable doing abs. It's like the sides of my stomach are just so sore. Like not my side, but like just like almost like the ab lines. It's like very sore, and especially since I'm wearing my faja less, it's like I don't have that layer of like protection around it, so it's just like I feel it, and it's kind of like hard in those areas. I think that's where they really like carved it out, you know. Like, mood. So I'm not really doing any abs, and even like yoga, I'm like, fuck, I just want to do some yoga with Adrian, but it's just like my hips still feel kind of sore, and it's just like kind of weird. So I'm like, okay, I don't really want to, I don't know, I just don't really feel like I'm ready for that, but hopefully soon, you know. What a fucking long ass process. I know I talked about it in my fucking Q&A, but yeah, it's like, this takes forever, bro. Like, when am I just gonna be all the way like normal, not even thinking about it? And like, not that that's necessarily a surprise, because I knew it was a long recovery process going into this, but it's just like interesting to live it out and be like, damn, I still am like affected by this, and it was like a month and a half ago. It's like not really that long, but you know what I mean. It's not just like a quick overnight thing. Also, by the way, I don't know if you can even tell, I had a clear and brilliant laser treatment on my face. So if my face looks shiny or red, it's because it is. Oh yeah, you can definitely see, like, it's so red in the middle of my eyebrows. I'm like, damn, sis, did you have to like go over that so many times? Like, hopefully it's fine by the weekend. Fuck. So I saw this TikTok that I wanted to talk about because I feel like it's so like kind of relevant to me right now, but then also just like a very interesting subject. So usually when I see TikToks about like Kim K or just like the Kardashians in general, like they're usually critiquing them themselves, and, you know, perfectly valid. But it was kind of interesting to get this perspective. So what was the girl even saying? She was basically saying, like, she was replying to a comment that someone left on, I guess, another one of her videos that was like, you know, everyone strives for that Kim K look, but it's not like a lot of guys find her desirable these days. You know, it's not like for like in 2021, it's like if you ask a guy his celebrity crush, is he necessarily going to say her? Like, he would probably be more likely to say like Kylie, or I don't know. So this girl was talking about, let me give her fucking credit because I need to like start doing that more. Her @ is Kai that gal. So she was basically talking about that, you know, in the early days of Kim K's career, like the early 2000s, that kind of era, you know, when they first had their show, she was a lot younger, and she still kind of had that like girl next door vibe, which a lot of guys find desirable, because then, you know, once she kind of became a little more of an icon, like just in the years after that, and started, you know, maybe changing how she looked and like just becoming a lot more successful, it's like she was capitalizing off of how she looked, making herself look better, you know, quote unquote better. It's like, okay, it's subjective, but like, you know what I mean? Whatever. But it's like she's aware that she looks good, and she's going to use that to her advantage to become more successful, whatever. So then that becomes kind of a turnoff to a lot of guys, because they, you know, they want that like girl next door. Like, I don't have any confidence. Not that she had that vibe, but like just in general, that kind of more like, oh, I'm just like innocent. I don't know how good I look. Like, I'm just shy. I'm not really like, oh, like I don't wear a lot of makeup. And it's like, that is more desirable, because therefore, I don't know, it's like less confident, so maybe it's less threatening. You know, I think a lot of it is, you know, she was younger, so a lot of guys prefer that, because it is like that more innocence. Like, people will talk all day about like, yeah, well, it's just genetic, like you just want someone who's more in their childbearing years, but it's like, okay, it wasn't that many years ago. And it's like, I think it's more about the innocence, and then just the naive vibes. It's like, okay, maybe, like, but it's like she still looks good and she still looks young now, but it's like she's just more successful, capitalizing off of how she looks more, whatever. So I just thought this was like a very interesting concept. Dude, it also just reminds me of like how guys want nudes so bad, or they're so ready to like leak nudes or share nudes without the consent of the girl. But then as soon as a girl starts capitalizing off of the fact that men want to see her naked body and, you know, does porn or creates an OnlyFans or starts charging for these pics, it's like a disgrace, and suddenly you're like a whore and just like a threat to society, when really it's like, okay, now I'm just like gaining something from this demand of people wanting to see my body. So it's kind of the same vibe. I forgot to mention that. And then I remember watching this girl's, it was some kind of story time. It was like, I fucked this athlete story time. I don't really remember what it was called or who it was about or anything, but she was talking about how like all of these like rappers and athletes used to like fly her out, and she would basically just like fuck them, and that was just like her thing. And she was like, damn, like before, because she had gotten like a BBL, I think she got her boobs done, like she kind of grew up in that way. She's like, damn, when I was so much uglier, like I just used to get so many more guys, like now they don't want me. It's really weird. And I thought of that vlog or that story time like right after I watched this TikTok, because I think that is like the same concept. It's like it's like, okay, I feel better, I feel more confident, and I know I look good now, and I'm less dumb now. I know my worth now because I put this effort into how I look, or into my self-love, into my self-confidence. So now all these guys that are preying on like the little naive girls, or just maybe the girls that like don't know how cute they are, or, you know, they're just younger, they're more dumb, like no shade, no tea, because bitch, I've been there. I'll probably say that about me now too in a few years, you know what I mean? Like hopefully, it's like I want the self-growth to continue. But like that's the thing. And like I just feel like so many guys, but especially like celebrities and just, you know, men with a little more status and power, it's like that's kind of like their thing. Like that's how masculinity is defined, whereas for us it's like more so about looks, and that's like our status in society. Not saying like, oh, that's like how things should be, but that's just kind of how things are. So it's like if a woman is equally as successful or as, you know, confident, it's like, ew. So that's why if like that, and then I think of like Jersey Shore, I'm like, you know, when like, not that the girls that they would fuck were even ugly, but you know how they would always be like, yeah, they were ugly, but I still wanted to fuck. It's like, it's just because they're down, and it's like an easy option. And like maybe a girl who knew her worth, not saying that like if you fuck you don't know your worth, but just like if a guy's literally calling you ugly and you still fuck, like, sis. But you know, maybe someone who was like had more important things to do would not be interested, so then they're like, fine, I'll just go with the easy option. So I hope this is like coming across how I wanted to come across, because I'm not saying like, I don't know, I just feel like as someone who has like just been kind of like, oh, I'm down, like whatever, like okay, let's just see, and I didn't really understand like the social dynamics and social expectations, and like, you know, this guy doesn't even want to like give me an Uber, but he expects me to give him my body. Like what? It's just interesting, you know. And now it's like I just feel like and not necessarily that I put up with less bullshit, but I feel like I say no to a lot more stuff, and like I'm just a lot more able to spot red flags. So it's like if I have all these like hoops a guy needs to jump through, like why would he, if he literally just wants to fuck, like why would he go through all the time and effort when he could just like fuck someone who was like, I don't even know why I'm here. You know, I hope this is like, again, I hope this is coming across how I wanted to come across, because I'm not saying like, this is not a drag on girls. It's like a drag on guys. Say no to a fuck. Say no, not even like a fuckboy. Say no to anyone today. Do it. Let me think of an example. So like, for example, if you think a guy is cute, whatever, or it's like, let's say a guy is like famous, like a famous rapper or an athlete that's like just really popping, and he's like, oh, I'm in your city. He DMs you and he's like, oh, I'm in your city. And let's say you're just like, let's say you don't know the vibes. I mean, maybe you have someone you would just like fuck and you just want to fuck. But, okay, classic example. This famous guy DMs you. You're like, oh my God, like, he chose me. Like, he wants to fuck. He wants to hang out with me while he's in town. Like, oh my God. So, instead of, like, you know, I don't know, asking you to dinner or, like, to do something fucking a normal person would, he's like, oh, come over. Like, come over later. And you're just like, oh my God, you're so, like, starstruck and just like, oh my God, like, sure. Yeah. And then he literally just fucks. You leave. And that's it. Maybe you hear from him again next time he's in town, but, like, that's kind of it. Whereas, if you were like, no, ew, then he'd probably be like, oh. Or, like, you know the whole thing of, like, oh, if you have more followers, like, guys don't like that. Because it's like, oh, I want a girl with, like, 500 followers. I don't want a girl with, like, 10,000. I feel like it's kind of that same vibe. It's like, they're like, oh, I'm going to have to put in more work. Or, like, oh, it's going to be a little harder for me to just, like, get what I want. So, like, let me not. I mean, that's not to say they won't necessarily try all the time. But, like, you know, it's just kind of a different vibe. So, our goal is to just, like, understand that behind every cute boy, behind every famous man, celebrity, athlete, whoever, it's still a man. And especially if someone, like, has money or has status, like, they actually have more to offer you, but they're actually giving you less because they just think that because they're cool, like, they just deserve whatever. Say no. Ask for a bag for, okay. You know what it's just so much more fulfilling to, like, have your own coins, your own motherfucking, you know that you look good, your own self-validation, than, like, have to not even necessarily, like, rely on someone else for that, but, like, just place so much importance on that. Like, that's not to say if, like, a man compliments me, sometimes it doesn't feel good, you know, especially if he's, like, cute, like, if it's a mutual attraction, but it's like, okay, my self-worth isn't reliant on that. And it's kind of like goes into the whole Buddhism thing of, like, you can't really listen to, like, there is no good or bad. Like, you can't place so much importance on, like, external opinions or, like, whatever circumstances, even just because you don't want to change your own inner perception of yourself or your life or whatever. Because if someone compliments you and it, like, makes you feel so good, and it's like, oh, I must be so poppin', then it's like, well, that could be taken away because it's external versus having it for yourself. But then also, if that makes you feel so good, then, like, someone calling you ugly or unsuccessful or whatever, that's gonna feel like as bad, as extremely bad as the, like, extreme good. Versus if you're just like, okay, like, it's not good or bad, like, it's just like, everyone's gonna have their own opinion, everyone's gonna try to scam me in a different way, so it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna be good at the end of the day regardless. Oh. Look at all these metaphors. We have Jersey Shore, we have the art of Zen, we have random story time of a girl fucking randoms, we have Kim K, you know, we're all related. So let me know your, like, experience. Again, I feel like, I hope this is coming across the way I wanted to. But yeah, basically, don't be flattered if a man wants to fuck you. I'm sure we all know that, but sometimes, especially if a guy is, like, you know, even just cute to you, but especially, like, a celebrity or something, it's like, okay, and you're still a man. Like, what do you have to offer me? Actually, like, what am I going to gain? Because I don't gain anything from you telling me I'm hot. I really don't. You could just as easily call me ugly the next day. Like, it's not, like, you know? So, yeah, de-centering men's opinions in our lives. And it's really hard, you know? Because it's like, if someone says you look good, it's like, thank you. But you just gotta, like, remind yourself, like, take a step back. You're like, okay, I know I look good. I know that I feel good. I think just the awareness, like, goes a long way. You feel me? Like I was saying in my vlog, Hot Girl Summer, first day of Hot Girl Summer. Hot Girl Summer begins, LOL, weekly vlog. I had, like, such a fucking good day. And even though it's, like, nothing really like, I don't know, it's not like anything extraordinary happened, or it's not like necessarily anything really came from that day or from me going out. Like, it's like, okay, you could kind of look at that as like a waste of time, because it's like I wasn't hustling or working out, so it must be a waste of time. But I feel like, you know, I was just really living in the moment and like not having any expectations, and like, it's not like I felt super cute that day, but like, I mean, looking back, I was like, damn, I was cute that day. But it's not like in the moment I was like, oh my God, I feel so 10 out of 10. Like, I was actually like, damn, did my butt go down? But it's not like I thought I looked bad. Like, I was just purely living in the moment. And like, if you literally watch the vlog, I go through every fucking, not every emotion, but I go through like every stage of like, oh my God, I'm kind of like nervous about this, to like, I guess we'll see what happens, to like, okay, now I'm doing this, and then like the aftermath. So it was just kind of like almost a lesson to like, to remember that the best times, whether like whatever it is, always come when you are fully living in the moment, like no expectations, just like having a good time for yourself. You know, it's not like I'm not going to this event to like expect to meet a cute boy, or like I don't know. It's just like, I purely want to have fun. I want to have fun with my friends. I just want to like get some new experiences. I don't know. Yeah, so that's kind of the vibes that I'm on, especially this next week. And then it's time to really buckle down, because we got to get to moving, packing, all of that. So I'm just going to really like enjoy, I guess that was last weekend, and then this weekend, and then it's moving time, baby. I'm so excited. And yeah, like I was talking about in my daily vlogs, you know, 22 days of vlogs, I just really feel this like good energy and new season, new me. And my mom was telling me something, not my solar, but like something is in my first house. Like, I just completed an astrological cycle, and I'm starting fresh again. I think it was Neptune transiting something, but you get the fucking vibe. Like, I forget specifically what it was, but like, I was reading about it, and it was like new beginnings. Like, people in your life may be, you know, startled that you're like acting rebellious, or that you're acting, you know, in just these new ways, or you're saying no to different stuff that you normally didn't before. And it was just like, dude, if it's not real, why don't it be real, bro? I'm just very excited for my life, just in general. Like, I feel like that's really the place to be. So I hope you're feeling good, bitch. If you're not, even if you are, journal about it. Know that everything's temporary. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoy these fucking vlogs. I want to have my vlogs this summer be like a Jersey Shore, in the sense of like bringing you along my antics. Because like, I've definitely vlogged antics here and there, but I was just like, I thought this vlog was so funny, because I'm like, I literally got home right away and like started vlogging, and it was just, I was like, Jersey Shore has really impacted my life. Like, I wish I had a show like that. I remember thinking that last summer, because there was just like so much random like tea and just like circumstances that were funny, and I'd be like, I would love to like watch this as a fucking, not just any reality show, but like specifically a Jersey Shore style reality show. Like, I really wish. So that's kind of how I'm like trying to live my life. You know, it's like, okay, if I ever feel just like, I don't know, just stressed out, or like, it's like, okay, well, what episode is this? What's the plot right now? Oh my God, I would love that. Like, fuck. But reality TV is just different these days. It's not the same. If only I could go back and be a true early 2000s reality star. Just kidding. I have a Stella Ray YouTube channel. Like, that is a reality show. Okay. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on any of this down below. Let me know if like I fucking made sense in this. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye, everyone.